2 uploads in one day. Woo! You sick of my face yet? Because I am. I was doing some reading for uni. Because that's what you do when you go to university. What I was reading is called... Got my script because I can't remember that. Non-Places, Introduction to an Anthropology of Supermodernity. Yeah, that one. By Marc Auge. I think it's French. This uni I go to, which is a bit weird, I found with uni. We are doing this thing where we are studying YouTube as a city, like an actual place. So in this thing that Marc Auge wrote, he has a chapter about near and elsewhere. So every other place that we relate to, there is a near and there is an elsewhere, and the near is here. So right now where I am is near, and that's here, and where you are is elsewhere, and that's like over there, and I don't really know anything about you. But what's kind of interesting is how we perceive what the elsewhere is. Like to you guys, Scandinavia, which is where I'm from because I'm from Norway, to most of you guys, you see Scandinavia, it's like, it's up there, and it's basically a cube of ice. It's not true, by the way. We have other stuff as well. There's a couple of mountains and some fjords and a couple of cities. YouTube, people often think about as cats. Because we all know that we all enjoy a good cat video. Cats lol. So lol cat. So YouTube is not just cats. But for us to see the elsewhere as kind of making it to a near, we have to actually do some research, which is quite fun when it comes to YouTube, because basically you just sit there and browse all day. The fudge, I can't see. If what you see as elsewhere is like what's made up to you in your mind, like if you think that YouTube is only cats, you will only see the cats on YouTube, so the elsewhere for you will always be cats. Yes. But if we are gonna learn to know YouTube as a nearer here, we have to like cast our net out and like see what is out there. But then again, not too far out, because then we'll get lost and we'll just be like in all of the cats. Get some cats. And then we do some vlogs, and then we do beauty vlogs, and every other thing that you might find interesting. Because what's very interesting with YouTube, if you look at it as a community, is that, or like an actual site, an actual city, is that you built the city around you. So the YouTube that you might see now is just elsewhere. It's the out there thingy that's just everything. And then you built like brick by brick. So you bring, you make the elsewhere here. So you start off with like you as a center, and then as your own content. So it's kind of like you make yourself a little city square of like that's your core, that's your thing. And then every search and every tag that you're interested in, say you're interested in news and music, but a specific genre of music, so all of those tags like make up the main roads out from your city. So you have the known here, it's in the middle, which is you, and then you kind of spread out and you search, and then you make the near here becomes a broader term, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense. It makes sense to me, which is kind of the important thing, because this is my vlog. Also, the related links that you know you find, like, I think it's on this side, or it's on this side, or it's on the whole screen if you finish watching the video. Ooh. You see those tags that you search, kind of like main road, and then the related videos are like side roads that goes like, and then you go back in, and then you're still in your little closed near here, and then the side roads are a bit like near here, elsewhere, I don't really know, and then you come back in, and then you go out. So the elsewhere is kind of like the suburbs. So you have like a vague knowledge of what might be out there, but you don't really know until you go out and you do some research and you find out what's actually out there. And I just find it a bit interesting to read this paper thingy. I'll link to it in my knickers, and think about like how we perceive the online community as an actual community. YouTube basically only exists online, which makes it a non-place. Like it doesn't really exist, but it exists in our own minds. It kind of makes sense. But if you take YouTube out of the internet and then imagine that you put it in an actual place, and how would you research that elsewhere, a known place, and make it into a real place? I think that's quite interesting, which is fortunate because that's what this module's on. So basically what I'm trying to say is that YouTube is a kind of a non-place because it only exists in our minds. Like the space that we create within YouTube and on YouTube and in the sort of online communities that we engage in every day, they are communities and they are actual places, but the actual places only exist in our minds, but collectively in our minds, because we very often have the same ideas of how to view or how to act on certain platforms online. So both the near, yes, I am looking at my script. I'm that cool that I actually have a script. So both the near and the elsewhere exists only like in our minds, but it also exists online. So where do we draw the line? I'm gonna stop this rhyme.